Hey everybody, Mental Fox here with a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm excited to play this game. I played the first game on PC back in 1999, and I remember playing the second game at some point, and then I also remember playing a Baldur's Gate game on the Xbox back in the early 2000s. I'm not sure which one that was, but love me some Baldur's Gate, but it's been literally 20 years since I last played it. I haven't played any of the games since the early 2000s. I haven't played any of the enhanced versions of the already existing games. And Dungeons and Dragons, I haven't played since I was in college. It's been a very long time since I played Dungeons and Dragons. And when I played, I think I played 2nd edition rules, so 5th edition rules I'm not too terribly familiar with, but I understand that they're pretty simplified. Maybe simplified isn't the right word. They are less complicated than the other rules were. So it's easier for people to get into the game and actually do role playing. And Baldur's Gate 3 is based on kind of like a modified 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons rules. So I think hopefully I'll be comfortable in here. I did play this game when it was in early access. I played it a couple years ago. I used to have a series on my channel called Sunday Samplers, where I would just pick a game and play it for an hour or so. And Baldur's Gate 3 was one of those games, and I remember enjoying the game and thinking that it had a lot of promise. And based upon the reviews that this game is getting and the number of people who are playing it, apparently they've made something special here, and I want to be a part of it, and I hope that you want to be a part of it as well with me as I play along here. Baldur's Gate 3. You can see here, I've already gone into the game a little bit just to kind of get a feel for the game, so that I don't go in totally blind. Speaking of which, if you've seen my other Let's Plays on my channel, you know that I generally play completely blind. I try not to read anything about the game. I try not to watch any videos about the game, but this time it's different. I've done some research, watched some videos, and like I said, I already played a little bit of the game just to get a feel for it so that I'm not floundering around too much as we start the game here together. Let's go ahead and hit new game. I'm going to play balanced. I'd seriously consider it explorer. I prefer to just experience the story, but combat in this game seems like it's going to be kind of fun. So let's just do a balanced adventure full of challenging choices. incredibly disturbing and gross. And it's just, who are you? Well, apparently now we're somebody who has like a little worm in our head. When the Mind Flayer placed that little worm on the green woman's body on her face, I was like, why don't you just close your eye? Just close your eyes as much as you can so that thing doesn't get in your eye. But then you saw the little worm reach out and with its tentacle-like things pry her eye open, and they just moved on in. Free rent in her head. That's gross, man. That is gross. So now we have one of those in our head as well, climbed in through our eye. That does not seem comfortable at all. Okay, so now we need to create a character, and I've put a little bit of thought into this. I want to basically role play this game. I tried that a little bit with Skyrim, and I think early on I did okay, but then I kind of forgot it. I don't want to do that this time. I want to create a character that I feel comfortable with, that I can play as, do things that I think this character that I'm going to create would do. So I'm going to try that. Now you have a choice here for different origin characters. These are characters, they're basically pre-rolled characters that you can start with. I'm going to go ahead and instead create my own character. And my character is going to be let's see, what do I want to be? I'm thinking, what do I want? Maybe thinking like a gnome. So I'm going to play something that I wouldn't normally play. I've never, in all my adventuring Dungeons and Dragons type role-playing games, I don't think I've ever been a gnome. I thought maybe it might be fun to do something different than I normally would do. Gnomes are small, clever, and energetic. Gnomes use their long lives to explore Faerun's... I need to learn how to pronounce this. Faerun? Faerun's brightest corners and darkest depths. Here's some race features. There's how far they could move per turn, 7.5 meters. And they have cunning. They have an advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws, so that will certainly come in handy. A subrace, I decided on Forest Gnome. Even smaller than their cousins and twice as reclusive, Forest Gnomes are a rare sight in Faerun. They master magic and craftsmanship in their distant, idyllic groves. Spell, Speak with Animals. They gain the ability to comprehend and communicate with beasts. It's kind of cool. And then they can see in the dark up to 12 meters. Now, when I tell you a little bit about the history of this character that I've created, you're going to see that it kind of conflicts with Forest Gnome, but I can explain that away. You'll see. And then as far as class goes, so in my years of adventuring, I've played pretty much every single type of character here except one, really, and that is the Bard. I've never played as a Bard before. And so I thought maybe, honestly, I've never really understood the importance or the usefulness of a bard, which is probably why I've always skipped it. But now I'm going to force myself to be a bard. And in full disclosure, I actually did go online and read a little bit about bards in this game. And it turns out it's actually a pretty good class to be in Baldur's Gate 3, in part because as you play the game, you're going to meet other characters, right? And it's good to have a mix of different classes on your party, right? You don't really want two monks, or two rogues. Well, in my research, I found out that you do not meet another bard in the game, one that will join your party. So that way I don't have to worry about there being two bards in our party. So that's one good thing about being a bard. Bards, music is more than a fancy. It is power. Through study and adventure, you have mastered song, speech, and the magic within. You have these things called cantrips, which are kind of like spells that you don't have to memorize or prepare. You just know them. We'll choose some cantrips here. As a bard, we can cast spells. We have some actions, and then we have a class feature, apparently. If we go into cantrips here, this is where we will choose our cantrips. I put a little bit of thought into this. I think what I want is, I want this mage hand, because I think I want to be able to, well, here's the description of it first. It creates a spectral hand that can manipulate and interact with objects. I'm thinking that I'm wanting my character to be kind of roguelike in a way, be able to like manipulate things from the shadows, and Mage Hand sounds to me like a good way to do that. Maybe we could use it to open a chest or, you know, and therefore avoid traps. Maybe we can reach things behind bars that we wouldn't otherwise be able to get to. So I think Mage Hand might be kind of fun. And then the other thing that I was thinking of getting, I thought about light. That might not be a bad one to get. But I've heard that Vicious Mockery is a good one to get. And when I explain my character a little bit more, you'll see why I chose Vicious Mockery. Vicious Mockery does 1 to 4 damage, psychic damage apparently. You insult a creature. It has disadvantage on its next attack roll. So I'm going to do Vicious Mockery. As far as spells, what spells am I going to choose? Well, I'm thinking of, let's see, what do I want? What spells do I want here? This one here is, I think, a good one that's going to fit with my character. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Leave a creature prone with laughter without the ability to get up. You can see here that it lasts 10 turns. This will fit in with my character. We also want to do... I think we need some kind of attack. Something that will do damage, maybe? I was thinking of maybe Thunderwave. I think Thunderwave might be a good one. Release a wave of thunderous force that pushes away all creatures and objects. Does 2 to 16 damage, which I think is pretty good. Another one that I'm thinking of getting is Dissonant Whispers. This is similar to our cantrip, I feel like. Our cantrip of Vicious Mockery, in that we can kind of control people's minds a little bit. We're going to frighten a creature. It will be easier to hit and cannot move. And then finally, I was thinking of a support thing, but that's not going to fit my character either. And I guess I should maybe start talking about my character and his background. He looks like a female right now, but I'll change his looks here in a moment. So here's what I was thinking, right? I've never played as a bard before. I don't really know much about them, but I was thinking that maybe my bard, this particular bard, lived a life as maybe like a busker, right? Somebody who you would see on the streets of a city playing music to get by, right? This travel from city to city, maybe homeless, you know, maybe this bard lives in the woods or in the dark areas of the city and just, you know, plays music to get by and survive, right? And this does kind of, I feel like, go against the forest gnome thing where it says that they're rare, but I kind of like this idea. Maybe our bard is a very successful bard because he's a spectacle, right? People don't see very many forest gnomes. So just the simple fact that our bard is a forest gnome and is rare makes them draw a crowd, you know? So our character is using that to his advantage to gather people and hopefully have them contribute money so that we can survive. So that's why I've picked this particular cantrip, right? I could see you got to be sharp with your tongue and fast with your tongue when you're on the streets, right? And so I'm thinking that Vicious Mockery might be kind of a way how our character has survived on the streets. Maybe this is something that's developed not purposefully, but just as a result of living on the streets, right? You know, people are going to be nasty. They just are, sadly. And you develop a thick skin, and maybe you retaliate, and you kind of over the years learn, you know, to mock these people that are maybe mocking you, right? So I think that fits in with this character that I'm creating. And then as far as spells go, again, Tasha's hideous laughter were so entertaining and so amusing and so funny that we can actually get people to laugh so hard that they fall to the ground. I think that totally goes along with some kind of performer. This one here, I'm thinking not everywhere you go is going to be friendly and welcoming. You need a way to protect yourself. So our character has learned this Thunderwave spell where if there's like, we need some kind of crowd control, right? Literally crowd control. You're in the city, maybe you're cornered, maybe there's a gang that's ganged up on you and is being aggressive. The Thunderwave allows you to push away all those people, get them away from you so that maybe you can run away, you can escape and live, you know, another day, move on to another city or something. So I think Thunderwave fits with that as well. And then Dissonant Whispers. This I feel like maybe also is similar to Tasha's Hideous Laughter and similar to the Vicious Mockery. This is another way that we've learned to cope. You know, our character's going to be very charismatic because we're a bard, and through that charisma, we can maybe hint to this person that maybe they should be scared. You know, we could frighten them just by whispering in their mind. You know, this is just another, not necessarily crowd control, but another way to survive on the streets. I considered getting a healing spell for my party, but that doesn't really make any sense. Our character has been very much a loner, and it doesn't make any sense that we would have a spell to heal someone else, I don't think. Do I want a spell to heal? No, this is also not myself. These are both. This is heal a creature you could see. This is heal a creature you could touch. Heal. I don't think that fits in with our character at all, which causes a little bit of a problem because I initially thought that my bard would be a support character. Excuse me, but it seems like that's not going to be the case. So I need to pick another spell that I feel like works. So Charm Person, I think, is perfect for the bard that I've created here. Again, charm a humanoid to prevent it from attacking you. You gain advantage on charisma checks and dialogue. I think that fits perfectly. This person, you know, charming people, you know, disarming them, or maybe getting them to give you money. I think Charm Person fits with that pretty well. We need a starting instrument. We could do a violin, we could do a lyre, we could do a lute, we could do a flute, we could do a hand drum. I'm picturing a good old lute on our back here. Look at this thing. It's bigger than us. I just feel like this is more what you would see on the streets, maybe. This doesn't make any difference. It just says it will influence the soundscape when you cast spells, and can be changed later by equipping a different instrument. This doesn't. They all have the same effect. It doesn't matter which instrument you pick. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the lute. And then we need to choose a background for our character, which I think is kind of cool, right? A little bit of history for our character. I thought of entertainer, right? Because I've just basically described an entertainer. You live to sway and subvert your audience, engaging common crowds and high society alike. Preserving art and bringing joy to the hapless and downtrodden heightens your charismatic aura. This is perfect, except for the acrobatics. I just don't feel like this character that I've created in my mind is going to be acrobatic. I feel like it's just more of a, you know, sitting on a stool, playing some music, possibly singing, you know, like a busker that you would see in the subway or something. You know, they're generally not doing acrobatics. So I don't feel like acrobatics really fits with this character. So I thought of maybe A guild artisan might fit. Your skill in a particular craft, which in this case would be playing our loot here, has earned you membership in a mercantile guild. Okay, so maybe we're not necessarily in a guild. Offering privileges and protection while engaging in your art, repairing and discovering rare crafts will bring new inspiration. So that one I'm not so sure fits either. What about urchin? After surviving a poor and bleak childhood, you know how to make the most out of very little. Using your street smarts bolsters your spirit for the journey ahead. This might actually not be a bad one to choose. You know, we're going to have a little bit of sleight of hand here, right? You know, living on the streets is tough. Sometimes you're hungry, you got nothing, and you're going to be driven to take what's not yours necessarily. So maybe some sleight of hand fits here. And then stealth, I've mentioned before, staying out of sight, being in the shadows. You know, most of our character's life is spent in the spotlight on the street corner performing for people. But we need to be able to also hide since, you know, this character may not have a home. So I think stealth fits pretty well. I think I might just go with urchin here. I think that fits pretty well. I wasn't planning on choosing urchin, but I kind of like it. Now we need to choose some abilities here, and we could move our points around a little bit. Right. So very charismatic. We are a force of personality. Charisma improves spellcasting for bards, paladins, sorcerers, and warlocks. So yeah, improves our spellcasting. We get a +5 to saving throws. We get a +3 from charisma, and we get a +2 from proficiency. So charisma is definitely very important for us. We're not strong, you know, instead we rely on, you know, our stealth and our cantrips and our spells to get by. We are dexterous though. You know, I would say that you look at those fingers. You have to be dexterous to play the lute. You know, you need to be dexterous for your sleight of hand. So I think dexterity works in there pretty well. I like to think that we're not stupid. You know, we've lived on the streets all this time, so we do have some intelligence. And then constitution, I would have to think, has got to be pretty high too. You need some constitution to survive on the streets. So I'm feeling pretty good about these numbers, really. Not bad at all. I don't think I'm going to change any of these. We can go in here to our skill proficiencies, and we can change these if we want. Right now, we've got... oh, no, we can't change these. Sleight of hand and stealth, they are part of our urchin background. We cannot change these, but we can change these other ones. We could be deceptive, we could be intimidating, and performance. I think performance is definitely something that we want in here. But what else do I want? Intimidation, be a bully, threaten. I don't think I want that. I don't think I want to be intimidating. Instead, we're going to use our charm to get by. So yeah, I don't think I want intimidation. Deception, you know, I could see being useful. So I could see maybe doing that. You could see that it's probably a good idea to stick with these down here because they're already a +3. Like if I decided to do survival, sure, I could choose it, but it's only going to get up to +2. So it doesn't really help me a whole lot. So I think I'm pretty much, if I'm smart, confined to these. I think I'm going to choose persuasion. Turn on the charm, coax, and cajole. I could see that. That makes sense. So of these 4 +3s, I feel like these are the ones that I'm most match my character. Intimidation doesn't feel right to me. I don't want to be intimidating. I want to be charming. I want to be like even welcoming. Like, hey, I'm your buddy. You know, let's be friends. Let's not fight. So I'm going to go with that. I feel pretty good about that. So there is our character's abilities. Now we're going to edit the appearance a little bit. I want to be a male because that's how I identify. And then
where to next?
Yeah, so our character, I think this is a bug. You choose male and our character still looks female over here, but then, well, they all still look female, don't they? Okay. That's right. You choose the body type. I have to go here, and now I've got... So maybe this isn't a bug. So what are you doing, dude? Calm down. So now I've got a dude here. I actually kind of like his look right off, really. Kind of digging just the way this guy looks by default. But we're gonna change him a little bit, okay? If you look at my channel, you'll see that I have a really neat drawing of Mental Fox. He's a fox. He's got orange hair. He's got the scruffy scruff on his cheeks. And my fox wears these cool red sunglasses. Now, I can't put sunglasses on in this game, but there are some things that we can do. So I'm going to change my skin color. I'm going to do all skin colors. And I'm going to change my skin color to kind of like this kind of like orange color here that kind of matches my fox. So I'm going to do that. And I don't think I need any scarring necessarily. I'm going to add a little bit of maturity to our guy. Just a little bit, you know, he's been on the streets, you know, a little bit of sun damage on his face, you know. Interesting that hardly any freckles show up, but I guess if you increase the intensity, you start to see them. My fox doesn't have freckles, so I'm not going to go with that. This game actually has genitals in it, and you could actually choose... I'm not going to show it, but you could choose, you know, different peni. But we'll just go with default. We don't need to worry about that. Matter of fact, I need to remember to turn off nudity. Not to be a prude or anything, but I don't want to be demonetized, so we'll just leave the nudity off, and you can find your nudity elsewhere. Plenty of places to find that. Body art. I was thinking of, instead of glasses on my character, I was thinking of putting maybe something not like that. What was it that I was doing? Maybe it was makeup and not body art. Maybe I went into makeup. Yeah, and I did something like this. Oh, wait a minute. I need to turn off the body art. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of makeup here to go around the eyes. I'm going to make this kind of a reddish color to kind of, you know, my character's not wearing sunglasses, but, you know, instead we've got this... you know, this red around our eyes here instead of the red sunglasses that my fox character wears. So I was thinking of something like that. As far as eyes go, again, something, a red color. Oh, weird. Why do the whites turn black here? So can I not have red eyes with white? There we go. Maybe something like that. Ooh. Can't get any closer. That's kind of pinkish. That's too dark. I think that looks pretty good. So we've got red eyes. I wish I could get it redder. I want a bright red like this. But that does not seem to be an option, does it? It's interesting, all this dark, these black backgrounds. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh. Let's go with, which one's more red to you? Let's go with this one. Okay, so I'm going to go with these red eyes, and we'll go with that. And then as far as facial hair, I was thinking of like this bushy, kind of bushiness, you know, because if you look at the fox, he's got bushy hair on his cheeks. So I was thinking of that. And we want the hair color to be... kind of this orange. Boy, that's awful bright. Yeah, it is bright, but if you look at my character, my channel mascot created by very talented Jesper Mirtu. He does great cartoon stuff, and he created this the mascot for my channel. So I'm kind of making my character kind of look like him, kind of. And as far as the hair itself goes, something kind of... I don't know, this actually isn't bad. I might just go with this hair right here. I think this works. I'm kind of digging it. You could do some highlights here. Highlight intensity. So okay, so you got some highlights here. We could throw some... yeah... That's kind of fun, right? What do I want to do? Maybe some brown highlights, kind of. I kind of like that. That looks pretty good. All right. So we spent quite a bit of time on this, but I wanted to make a character that I felt comfortable with. Now, I haven't seen any way to change her clothing. I don't think that there's anything that we could do about the clothes. Well, that was kind of neat. Watch this. Look at that. You can spin him. Just by giving a flick of the mouse. That's pretty cool. All right. Feeling pretty good about this guy. So let's go ahead and let's proceed. You need to enter a character name. We could go. I'm just gonna go with Fox. Just simply, our name is just simply Fox. That's it. Not Mental Fox. Just Fox. You need a guardian. So this guardian, I don't know what this is. And I went online to read about it, and I don't know if these are just the web pages I went to, but they're like spoilers ahead. So I did not read about the Guardian. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is. Do I want my Guardian to also be a gnome? I don't know. Do I want it to be something else? You know, like a half elf or maybe a human. You know what? I'm gonna go with a human Guardian. Just because I'm a human, and in my mind, when I think of our little forest gnome traveling from city to city and performing, I'm feeling like they will mostly be human cities, and therefore our guardian is also a human to help us make it through this world of humans. There, I just made that up. Looks pretty good to me. You know, we can randomize our appearance here. I'm not sure what these two buttons do. But if we randomize our appearance, one thing I don't like about it is that it also randomizes our race. I wish that I could be like, okay, I'm human. Please randomize my human, you know? That does not seem to be an option. So I'm thinking of like maybe... Do I want more of a wafy or more of a beefy? I'm going to go with beefy. And, you know, I am not interested in spending a lot of time on this at all. But I do want to kind of just change this up just a little bit so it doesn't look like the default character. Yeah, so she's wise. And she's got freckles on her face. We'll just throw that on there. Yeah, okay. And I want to change her hair a little bit. I kind of like... oh, that's not bad. I kind of want a flowing hair. Why? I don't know. I just do. Oh, that's kind of nice there. Maybe she pulls her hair up. That's kind of more youthful look, I think. Oh, I like that. I'm going with that. There we go. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend any time on this. I might let's change her hair color to... Wow, look at all these colors. Yeah, let's say that she's kind of like a strawberry blonde. That's kind of fun. Okay, there we go. Gonna go with that. That is my guardian, whatever the heck a guardian is. I don't know. But she looks like she could guard you. She could guard me. Let's venture forth. And here we are, beginning our journey of playing Baldur's Gate 3. Our journal's been updated. Let's take a quick look at our journal. We need to escape the nautiloid. That is the name of this ship or this creature that we are currently on. Our objective is to find a way off the nautiloid. We've been abducted by Mind Flayers and infected with some kind of parasite. We need to find a way off this ship. So in the cutscene, we saw the nautiloid flying through the streets of the city, basically, touching people with its tentacles, and then the people would basically, teleport, like turn into dust, and then they would appear in these pods here on the ship. And our character and the green woman character, who we saw the Mind Flayer place the little worm into, I guess we were already on the nautiloid before it made its way to that city. Who knows where we were picked up? Maybe the next city over. But our character was already there. And now, thanks to the battle that we just saw with the dragons, I guess these dragons are friendly dragons because we saw people riding them. The dragons attacked the nautiloid and have done some destruction here. You can see the stuff on fire. Right over here we've got a hole that goes outside. Oh, look at that! You can even see the mountains, the countryside going by. That's very cool. But thanks to the dragons and their attack, I guess our pod, our Mind Flayer pod, has been destroyed or damaged enough so that we could get out of it. So thank goodness for that. During that cutscene, there were a bunch of imps that flew at us, and I'm sure you noticed there were like these these huge spiky looking pillars floating, and it looked very much like the 3 in the Baldur's Gate 3 logo. So I don't know whether that was just a little nod to the logo or whether those 3 pillars really mean anything story-wise. So keep an eye on that. Okay, let's look around a little bit here. So if I just click on this, we're going to, use it. And this is something that in my short little play, my test play that I did earlier, that I don't like. I just want to look at it. I don't want to use it. I don't know what happens if I use this thing, right? And it actually kind of doesn't feel safe to just walk around using things, right? Here's a pod right here. Here's a pod right here. I'm not 100% sure which pod we emerged from. Both of these look intact to me. So, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, like I said, our choice is just simply to use it. Now, okay, we could always center the camera. Yeah, I could center it if I did this. That's fine with me. Yeah, so I'm going to say that our character here is on this nautiloid, this ship, this creature that we don't know anything about. You tell me, would you walk around touching things? I'm not so sure that I would. However, if I don't touch things, then I don't think I'm going to get very far, right? I guess I could just simply be like, nope, I'm going to keep my hands to myself. I'm not going to touch anything. I just don't know if that's a good idea because I already know what happens when you click on this. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it, which is basically using it.
Someone else got out.
And that's it. He just makes a comment. Someone else got out. So this may very well be the pod that the green woman was in. Although, like I said, it doesn't look like it's open to me. You'd think that you'd see this glass cracked or broken or something, but I'm not seeing that. It looks totally intact to me. And then I think this over here is the pod that we emerged from. I'm going to use it.
Might still be stuck inside if we hadn't been attacked.
So this is the pod that we were in, right? So anyway, I just wanted to kind of point that out. I don't really like that it says use. I would rather it be just inspect or examine or something like that instead of always using things. Another interesting thing is we can, if I hold down a button, let's see if I can get it to show. I must not be close. Oh, there we go. It's left alt by default, but I changed it to a different key because I can't really reach left alt very comfortably. If I press this button, it kind of like highlights things that you can interact with, which is hugely, hugely helpful in my opinion. And you could see that our little icon there is now a little chest. That means we could loot it. And if we right click, we could loot. Can't pick it up, too heavy. Can't throw it, but we can examine it. So we could walk over here. We don't even walk over here. This is kind of crazy to me. I mean, I don't know why they didn't center him here, but he's just laying dead on the ground there. We could see all of his stats, and we can see that he's dead. We could even learn all kinds of things about him over here. But what we're really interested in is looting him, let's face it. So there he is. I'm going to loot him.
Open up.
So this guy, he's got a pearl, perfectly round and ever so slightly pink. You can see it's worth 50 something. I'm not sure what. Okay, item price. The price of an item is its actual value. Depending on how much they like a character, traders may sell and buy items at a markup. And then this is how much it weighs. An item's weight affects how much strength is needed to move, pick up, or throw the item, as well as how much damage it deals if it hits something. The weight of carried items, excluding equipped items, counts towards your carrying capacity. So there's a little bit of information for you right there. Let's go ahead and pick this up.
Dead. Good.
Good. Dead. Good. Here in the center, we've got this nursery. Okay, and if you were paying attention to the cutscene, you saw that this is where the Mind Flayer reached in and grabbed the little parasite thing that he placed behind our eye and behind the green woman's eye. And again, here's our choices. We could use it or we could examine it. Okay, so at least we could examine this. Let's examine it. Okay, so here we go. We got a picture of it right here. And it's got some resistances. So this is, you can see this little tiny red arrow pointing down. That means this thing is not resistant to piercing. You can see that piercing damage against this entity is doubled. Okay, so if you were to fight this thing, you would want to use a piercing weapon or fire. Okay, fire damage against this entity is doubled. And then these two here, they've got some arrows pointing up. That means it is resistances. This thing is resistant to necrotic damage. Necrotic damage against this entity from magical attacks is halved. And then also necrotic damage against this entity from non-magical attacks is halved. So we don't want to use necrotic stuff against him. We don't want to use radiant stuff. And then this here, psychic damage against this entity is nullified. Interesting. So I guess you don't want to use psychic or poison. So if I were to fight this thing, I would want to use piercing or fire. So that's what we learned by examining it. Now, do I want to use this thing or just simply attack it? Now, honestly, I don't think I want to use it. I don't think I want to touch it. You know, I think I want to destroy it so that no more parasites. No more parasites. So I'm gonna attack this thing. Oh, and I attacked it, and apparently I'm a moron because I was standing too close to it. Where did my guy go? Where am I? I don't even see my guy anymore. Where am I? I'll get double click.
I've wished to live in more interesting times.
Okay, so somehow I ended up way back here. I guess maybe the blast blew me back.
With haste.
So I destroyed it. We don't need to worry about that anymore. No more parasites for anybody else. So I feel like that was a good thing to do, except for the fact that I was standing too freaking close to it. Okay, so let's do a little bit of exploring. We've already looted this Mind Flayer. You can see that the icon, I realize these things are small. Hopefully you're watching this on a big screen or you're close to your monitor. You can see now that the icon is now, what that is, that's an open chest. It's just to the left of the words Mind Flayer. It's telling you that it's empty. And you could also see that he's empty there. see if there's any places to run around here. Here's another pod. This is our exit over here, I believe. But there's other levels around here as well, I thought, where there's more stuff to see and do. Let's see here. Are these... Oh, here we go. So I think that this is a ramp that I could run up right here.
Where the hells are we?
Good question. We could go up here, and again, we could like just look around. There's another pod up. Oh, there's an onyx over here. Our guy has really good eyesight. I like to think it's because he's perceptive. So there's an onyx right here on this platform. Let's grab that. Yoink. Okay, so we picked up an onyx. This is a rune slate. Examine. Rune slate. Holding this tablet causes a flash of inscrutable images to appear before the eyes before vanishing, leaving a mild headache in their place. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this text is very small. I have it's a 28-inch, widescreen monitor, or 16 by 10 monitor actually, and I'm sitting, in arm's reach. Like if I stretch my arm out, I just touch the monitor. So that's how far away I am from my monitor. This is honestly too small for me to read. Let's face it, folks, we're getting older every day. I'm getting older, and even with my new pair of glasses, I find this a little difficult to read. I looked in the settings, in the accessibility settings, in the UI settings, and I saw no way to increase the size of this. There is a way to increase the size of other things like the text when our dude talks and stuff, but I saw no way to increase this, which is a little disappointing and frustrating because that's small. But anyway, that's what we got for now. If you know a way to increase the size of this, by all means, let me know. So we get this rune slate here that apparently is like something that you read. So let's use it, which I guess is the same as reading it.
Visions project into your mind. A nautiloid hurtling through the plains, resplendent with psionic energy.
So I believe that's the first time we've heard the voice of the narrator. There's a narrator with what I find to be a very pleasing voice, who's going to narrate the game for us, which I think is a really nice touch. So I can pick this up. I picked it up. I don't know if it's anything that I really am interested in. Here's our inventory here. We have this rune slate here. Maybe I could sell it. It's worth one, whatever this is. Maybe we could sell it. It does weigh something, so it might be something that we get rid of sooner rather than later. You can see we've got this pearl that's worth 50 of this, whatever these are. It looks like a Roman numeral 2 to me, but I guess that's just the currency here. And then we also have this onyx. Hello. That's worth 35. It's said when Shar walks upon the earth, she leaves a path of onyx behind her. I think that says Shar again. I mentioned it's very small. Let's look at what we've got here in our inventory. We've got a camp supply sack. This thing stores your camp supplies. Small compartments line the sack. A compass-sized furrow. A pocket packed with storing salts. And an area for stiff tent legs, fixing pegs, and folded canvas. Good grief, that is so small. We have an alchemy pouch. Stores your ingredients and extracts. A patina of puce alchemical matter coats this pouch. Hopefully not the farmer owner reduced to dust by their experiments. Ha ha ha. And then we've got a keychain. Though the keychain is lightly rusted from use, every new key that jingles or jangles on it is a mote of possibility, a frontier to explore. Man, I wonder if I could increase the contrast on that or something. We have a scroll of revivify, revive a companion. They return to life with 1 hit point. We have a potion of healing. Heals and removes burning. There we go. Here's our little dude here. Okay, so we got some goodies. We keep walking around up here. Oh, there's a cartilaginous chest over here. Let's loot this thing. Inside of it, we found 18 gold pieces. And you can see right here, 18 gold pieces are worth 18 gold. So I guess these are gold bars, and you can see like the little... I don't know why gold looks like that, but you can see that the little artwork of the gold kind of matches that. You can find a dozen different currencies in Faerun, but everyone accepts gold. Darn tootin'. Okay. You can see the chest is empty now, and we found ourselves at a dead end. Ooh, there's a sphincter over there. So our little character, he's going to run on down. Where's he going? Okay, there's a little ramp here that we're going down the ramp. I want to go up this ramp now. See if there's anything over here. Hopefully our guy's smart enough not to run through fire. Okay. We got another cartilaginous chest over here. Inside we've got a potion of healing, another onyx, and some more gold. You hit the space bar, and it does take all. You don't have to click on take all. And that's all that's up here. We can't get over here, apparently. Alright, let's run back down here. And then over here, we've got this thing, restoration. We can use it. That's it. Now, restoration sounds like health. And again, our character, he has no idea what this is. He has no idea. But here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that, again, our character is very perceptive. He's lived on the streets. He has almost this innate sense of whether things are good or bad, harmful or helpful. And I'm going to guess that this aura that this thing is putting off, our character is picking up on that and realizing that this is a helpful thing, not a harmful thing. Sounds pretty good, right? So let's go ahead and use it.
Odd. I feel better.
So we actually got plus 9 health, but we only needed 1. You can see down here our character has 9 of 9 health now. So, that is pretty much it for this room. We're going to leave this room. Here's the map of the room. This is a map of your surroundings. You can view quest locations and place custom markers. You can also teleport to waypoints you have discovered by selecting them. So here's where we are. These, I'm not sure. I don't know if these are the pods or what. Oh, actually these are pods. This is a pod. This is a pod. Damaged pod. This is a pod. Pod over there. Pod over here. I think this is the restore maybe. And there's our map. And then we can see here, it's telling us this is the direction we need to go in order to meet our objective to find a way off of the nautiloid. But we will do that in the next episode. It is time for me to end this one here. So mostly just character creation in this episode, some cutscenes, and some backstory, and just a little bit of walking around in here, getting used to the mechanics just a little bit. We'll obviously talk more about these as we play the game. Honestly, I don't understand everything myself. I've tried to gain a better understanding of it, unlike my usual completely blind Let's Plays, so I'm going to try to be a little bit more informed on this playthrough, and I hope it makes for a more enjoyable experience for you. Next episode, we'll go through the sphincter here. We will continue exploring this ship, this creature, whatever you want to call it, this nautiloid, and see if we could find a way off of it. And play this awesome game. I'm very excited. I hope you're excited too. And I hope you enjoyed this first episode of my playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. If you did enjoy it, won't you be so kind as to let me know? You can do that by leaving me a like or a comment. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe and click the little bell notification icon so that you're notified whenever I post more videos. That way you'll know when there's a new episode to watch. I'm going to try to post an episode every day. So you have something new to watch every day, and we'll play through this game together. Thank you so much for joining me on this first episode of Baldur's Gate 3. I sure hope you join me again in the next one.